Thank you, Faye. Let's see, there we are. The EBSN is the European Basic Skills Network, and I'll say just a few words about it. I'm the General Secretary, and it's been going on since 2010. We are a policy-level network, but our uniqueness is in the fact that there are in the network policy makers at national, regional, local level, and what we call policy providers, which may be a term we have coined ourselves. But we think of policy providers as both researchers, teacher training institutions, associations in civic society, educational NGOs, all the institutions that at national level can provide the background for better policy in basic skills. That means that many of you are in the network, many of you should be. I will not give you a selling speech, but do get in touch if you want to become a member. So what we are going to do, we have started to do, is to create a very special sort of educational material. It fits very well with what Adalberto said we needed in EPALE. It's a learning resource that we have called the Capacity Building Series. Now, I thought I was doing it right. Next, there. It is in the context of the Upskilling Pathways recommendation, because I hope you have noticed the very important place that basic skills has in the upskilling pathways. And we need to create new policy and new initiatives and implement new initiatives in Europe that really involve all the stakeholders that need to be involved. And there is actually, about basic skills, there's too little knowledge in many of the stakeholders that need to be involved in upskilling pathways. In many countries, if you think of your own country, what do people think of when you say literacy? In many countries today, even among educators, literacy means alphabetization. The whole notion of functional literacy, of numeracy, of how these are linked to the capacity for learning, and the fact that you may have people with insufficient functional literacy in secondary education, it's lost to many stakeholders today. So we have felt in the network that there is a need to train both within and without the adult education sector, the people that need to be involved in the upskilling pathways. That's why we are going to create, on the basis of existing resources, different capacity building units. Now, the whole EPALE, as we have heard today, is an open educational resource. But then you have to go and find and know what you're looking for. What we are aiming to do is to create, for each theme that I will show you later, for each theme we are creating a frame on what we think everybody should know about this, everybody at policy level at least. And for all of those themes, we will gather the existing resources in EPALE or outside EPALE. If they are outside, they should come in, so we will make sure that they do come in. And then where there are gaps, where there are areas we haven't been able to find resources for, we will create interviews, videos, written articles, blogs, podcasts. I hadn't thought about that. I got the idea today. Yeah, podcasts are a very good idea. So we are going to fill in all the gaps and then lead you through it. But as an OER, what is the difference between an OER and a MOOC? An OER means it is a course, it has the the structure of a course, but you take as much or as little of it as you want, and you take it whenever you want, and there is no grading, and there is no teacher. You just go through it, but it's organized as a course. Now, on the basis of that, we will also, these are the themes. Let me go through them first. For 18 and 19, we are planning on 5 different themes. Integrated basic skills policy, which will hopefully come out before the end of the year, and which is very interesting for all the countries that need to follow up the upskilling pathways. There will be one on digital inclusion. Workplace basic skills learning is already produced as a pilot, so it's already there on EPALE if you look for it, but it needs to be updated and made better. And migrant education and intergenerational and family learning. Those are the 5 themes we are planning on for these 2 years, but much more will come. And we are also open for your ideas about what other themes we need to take. For instance, numeracy is still missing here. This is the structure of how we think we will work, or how we are working, actually, because we've started. The EBSN resources, EPALE resources for basic skills, whatever we already know of as existent is at the base. Then many of you have already participated in the online discussions in EPALE that we run on different themes. And we have already run some on the themes that I presented. There will be more. And those discussions help us find out what you think is important in such an OER, and also what resources are out there that we should get better acquainted with. Then we gather all these in the thematic areas, and we create the open educational resource, which will be presented as a unit. As the next step, and for this OER that will be finished before Christmas, it will probably be first or second quarter of 2019, we will then create a MOOC. I always say that in adult education we should get rid of the M because the masses are not there. But an OOC, an open, organized course, so that you need to register for it. There will be a start and an end. There will be a moderator. There will be a community learning area where you can communicate with the other students of the course. And we are working on how to create one of those badges at the end so that you get an accreditation for this. So the idea is now to gather a lot of good resources, the sort of thing, to answer this question, if you need to present to a colleague from employment services or somebody who is tangential to adult education, what is literacy? What are basic skills? What would you give them in your country? We are interested in that kind of resources. Now, the linguistic aspect, we are going to create this in English, but it will be open for all of you to translate. And when it comes to multilinguality, the last online discussion that EBSN organized in EPALE was multilingual, and it worked. We allowed you all to write in your own language, and we used Google Translator to understand each other. I translated everything, and it works, so it is possible. So if you have ideas, both for the themes we should take up, for resources we need, for experts we should interview, please write to us. We're really looking forward to doing this together with you. Thank you.